Hi all, today we're doing Ing's beautiful dropped front post frilly poppy. Ing's going to demonstrate it with white and pink wool so it's easier to see the stitches. So here we go.
This lovely poppy has only 2 rows of black and 1 row of red. I've done my first 2 rows in white so that the stitches are easier to see. I've done 9 half trebles in the first row and doubled that to 18 in the second row. I've cut off my white yarn and I've joined with a slip stitch on my hook and a double crochet into the back loop. Now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do 2 more trebles to make a treble cluster in that back loop. And that's going to be the second half of our 2 stitches in between our posts. There's the first half there, 1, 2, 3 stitches. I've only done 2 there, and then 3 stitches there. So we're beginning with the second half. Immediately from there, you have 2 trebles here from the previous row, and then 2 trebles there in the next stitch. The drop front post is picking up that stitch between those 2 sets of trebles, and you simply complete a treble stitch there. Next is we pick up 2 stitches of the next stitch and do 3 trebles into that stitch. The next stitch is to pick up the back loop only and to repeat those 3 trebles that we did at the beginning. And I'm also working my yarn in as I go, save sewing in later on. This actually works up very quickly once you get the hang of it. Again, you can easily see the post between the 2 sets of treble stitches. Pick up that post, complete a treble stitch, and it's coming through nicely. Again, the next is picking up that 2 loops of that stitch, of the next stitch, and completing 3 trebles. And again, to finish off this set, it's 3 trebles into the back loop only, and finishing off with your drop front post treble, which is down in from one set of 2 trebles and up in the other set of 2 trebles. My little bit of end is trying to sneak through, so we'll hopefully get this tied up now in this cluster of 3 trebles.
So clusters of 3 in each of the stitches in between the drop post. Yeah?
Correct. One's in 2 loops of the stitch and the other cluster set is in the back loop only. And the reason for the back loop is that it allows the fold to happen. You can see here those 3 trebles are folding over. If they were in both stitches, they would probably make the petal quite thick and bulky, but we're allowing it to fold. I'm just going to complete all of the stitches now because it should be pretty straightforward what I'm doing. But the next set that I'll do very slowly. So again, it's important not to come up through here or come up through here. You have to go in from one set of 2 trebles and out from the other set of 2 trebles to complete that drop front post treble stitch. And again, don't forget that stitch. Don't start here, otherwise your pattern will be out. Make sure you pick up that stitch that's just behind that front post that you've just completed. So 1, 2, 3, Did I accidentally go? I think I went into the gap there, so I'm just coming back and making sure to pick up the actual 2 loops of the stitch only, not go into the gap. The 3 into the both loops, and now I'm doing 3 into the back loop only. There's the front loop, this is the back loop. Oops. Now again, we're picking up that stitch in between. And again, don't forget that stitch at the back, and picking up 2 loops to complete 3 trebles. Sorry, my yarn's knotted. Come out. Sorry.
Just pan over and look at the detail on these
While I
ones.
get this knotting undone.
You can see the way those 2 stitches fold over one another. It looks quite lovely, and it really creates that lovely flare in the petal.
So we picked up 3 trebles in 2 loops. Now we're doing 3 trebles in 1 loop only, and the back loop, not the front loop. And once again, dropping down through the first 2 trebles and back through the second 2 trebles. By the time you get all the way around, if you've picked up all your posts correctly, you'll get a lovely design on the back of your poppy as well. And again, 3 trebles into 2 loops, and now 3 trebles into 1 loop. And once again, down at the base of 2 trebles and up at the base of the next 2 trebles. The hook finds its own way. You don't have to do any exploring of a great nature. Again, 3 trebles into 2 loops. And 3 trebles into 1 loop. Oops, sorry. And again, here's our final post. Drop into 2 trebles out of the next 2. And lastly, we've got 1 stitch left, 2 loops, 3 trebles. One, 2, and 3. This is where you would bring my scissors. You would disconnect your yarn, or just simply join that up and finish off, cast off however you would like it. So what you now have is a complete circle.
Can I just put that on the table and I'll just get a close up of it.
It's got quite a bit of depth to it. It looks a lot fuller in the thicker yarn, but this is the fold that I was explaining that the back loop allows to happen.
Fairly naturally, actually.
It's a natural flow. And what you have on the reverse of your poppy is this collar around that first row that shows you that you've picked up all of your stitches, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is what you should have if you start off with a centre of 9 half trebles. If you want to make a smaller poppy, you can go to 8 half trebles. If you want a slightly larger one, depending on your tension, you might make 10 half trebles in the centre, and then finish off with a button.
So that would be an 8-ply yarn, with normally 8-ply yarn with
a size 3 hook.
Size 3 hook.
To make it nice and firm, I'm using 8-ply yarn with a 3 hook.
Okay, looks fantastic, Ing. I'm just going to go back and have another look at the red ones.
Okay.
So you don't have to put a button on them. They look lovely
No.
without a button, but they also look gorgeous with a button. Beautiful. Thanks, Ingy.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck. Have fun.
Have fun.
And if it doesn't end up the same, you've made your own new hybrid poppy, and we love them all.